Today I am doing my first new card reveal, new deck reveal, and I'm kind of a rookie. Well, I'm like way a rookie with some of these things. And so I'm just trying to aim my camera properly here. And the first thing I want to do is thank Christine for being so generous and to give me this beautiful deck. Isn't it gorgeous? I am thrilled because I've seen, actually, she has been doing readings for me with this deck, and it's become my new favorite. So, what a generous gift. Now, before I open this deck, I want to invite you to please consider joining the group. When you are resonating, when you're feeling a kindred spirit with my voice or with the pictures or the messages, it's a sign that you're in the right place. And when you hit the subscribe button, it helps you because then you know when I post new readings, but it also empowers the whole channel because for sure I am gathering unusual humans to my world and I want to feel like I'm meeting your needs. And so when you do join or hit the thumbs up, it helps me plan the readings and pick the cards so that we answer questions for you. So with no further ado, let's get into this deck here. It's like Christmas. It is Christmas. Thanks again to Christine. Let's just see what's in here. All right. Let's take the box aside here. And so what we're seeing is a little book here. You know, when I very first started reading cards, which was over 20 years ago, I depended on the little books. In fact, the very first card circle that I was in, we all picked a card, and the lady who was hosting it just simply read out of the book. And it felt real comfortable for me at the time because I didn't have confidence and I didn't know how the readings would go. And so in this particular book, what I really like is that the readings are short and so that it's very easy to quickly review what this author has in mind for the cards. And also, I will tell you that there are 84 cards in this deck. Why 84? Because the author wanted to give more flexibility to readers so that if they wanted a more feminine feeling, if they wanted to have a more feminine take on the cards, that be available. And now I am having a hard time breaking into this deck. Let me just get a sharp implement here. I'll be right back. I hope that I'm recording this on Thanksgiving weekend 2022, so I am hoping that you guys had a very lovely Thanksgiving. And I am certainly being thankful as I have my brand new deck here. All right. First of all, the cards, they're very beautiful. They're very subtle. It looks like lace, kind of hard to pick up on the camera. And then on the bottom of the deck, which I always love when we do a reading and we say the bottom of the deck is what you're not seeing. And so this gives an explanation of the author's intention for the deck and also the fact that there are 83 cards. I think I said 84. And that means there's 5 bonus cards that you can include or take out if you want to have a more traditional reading. And you'll see that the, what was I going to say here? Oh, there are instructions for you if you want to include all of the cards. So with that, let's see, let's start. And we're just going to go through this beautiful deck and share with me the joy of looking at brand new cards. So here we have the Fool. the Magician. One of the reasons that I really love this deck is because the art pulls you in, and the more you look at the image, the more you get out of it. So this is like my favorite kind of deck because you can use the regular Rider-Waite symbolism, but allowing for this imagination exercise to go forward. So here we have the High Priestess, the Empress. Isn't it beautiful? The Emperor. I can't wait. Anita gave these to me. I mean, excuse me. and I'm so grateful for the gift. And she will be the very first person to receive a reading, and I'm delighted to give it to her. But this Emperor reminds me of Gulliver's Travels. Is that meaningful to anybody? Then we have the Hierophant. I love owls. The Lovers. The Chariot. Oops, so sticky. Strength. The Hermit. This really reminds me of Rapunzel. And when I look at, because it's a tower and there's no door, I often use Rapunzel as a teaching tool because sometimes, just like in the fairy tale, you can be so locked away in your old belief systems that there's no way out and that you need someone to help. But in Rapunzel, in the story where they said, Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair, that even when the rescuer would climb to her with her hair, it would be painful. And it reminds me that sometimes getting yourself out of a jam, or, in my work, helping people to accept a loving relationship again after being hurt, that even the healing journey can be painful, but it's always worth it. And here we have the Wheel of Fortune. Justice. The Hanged Man. And look at this Death card. That's my card. I'm Scorpio. And so I live a life of transformation and transition. And so I kind of love this card as my personal card. Those of you who are watching, be sure to hit that subscribe button and give a thumbs up so that we are connected with this energy. And also, if you want to have a reading with this particular deck, drop me a note. I'd be delighted to do that. Temperance. Take a look at this Devil card. What's tempting you? And the Tower. I love how the Star comes after the Tower, and all of the healing that's available to us in the natural cycles of life, if we can hang in there long enough, right? Remember, this is a journey. The Moon. Oops, sorry. And the Sun. The moon can be can suggest a time of confusion, and then always followed by the sun. And it's such an important thing to remember the cycles of life. There are patterns, there are cycles, there's seed time and harvest. You cannot get away from that. Our Judgment card. And the World. So our trip through the major arcana, it is what we're completing here with the world opening up a brand new portal, opening up a brand new life. So thank you for this gift, Anita, that's opening up this portal for me. And now we're going to just check out the minor arcana. Thank you for traveling with me through the Tarot of Mystical Moments. Again, if you're entering a little bit late, whoopsie. Oh, this is the deck that we're taking a look at today, the Tarot of Mystical Moments. And I lost a card here, and the Ace of Wands. There's our beautiful Ace of Wands. Two of Wands. What adventure is ready to start? Three of Wands. Four of Wands. If you've been seeing a lot of 1111s, this is often counted as Four of Wands energy, which is a celebratory energy, things coming into order, stability. I love how the little figures are so small because it just strikes me that your surroundings and your environment have such a large effect on how you are interpreting life, and to always keep that in mind. The world is much bigger than our own personal little needs and wants. Five of Wands and Six of Wands. The hummingbird is known in Native American culture as the little warrior. They can't walk on their legs. They're so short and not efficient, and they have to fly. Not only that, but their little selves I think their wings beat like 1,000 times a minute or something. I may be wrong on that statistic, but they have to work so hard for every morsel of food they have. And even in a storm, when the wind is blowing really, really strong, which was true where I used to live, they would fight that wind to get enough nectar. They have to hit hundreds of flowers a day to just get the energy to keep those wings floating, right, and flying. And so this idea that they're the little warrior is so beautiful. So when you see a hummingbird, be aware of that, a reminder to you that you're being noticed and that your hard work is paying off. Seven of Wands. This card really is meaningful to me these days because of the energy of defensiveness. Defensiveness is connected to self-sabotage because when you react defensively, people can feel that energy in you. And so this image is meaningful to me because it's like breaking out of prison, breaking out of the prison of a defensive reaction. You really can learn to be less defensive, and it's worth it. But anyway, this is a personal card for me these days. I've kind of been carrying around Seven of Wands energy and working with it. And her Eight of Wands. Again, we are reviewing the Tarot of the Mystical Moments. I just received it as a gift, and so I'm just going through in my very first introduction to the cards. Nine of Wands. The Ten of Wands. You know, a lot of times this card will indicate burdens to be carried, right? And it's like in the Tarot, in the Rider-Waite, you can see in the distance behind the figure that there's a castle there, that there's a great completion of a cycle here with the Ten of Wands, and that the burden is going to be put down. But I love that they're flowers because a lot of times you can get so involved with what seems good. It feels kind of good when you're doing it. You don't even sense that it's becoming a burden because there's a lot of good in it. But if you're really honest with yourself, there's so much fatigue. So if you look, she's not giving up her love of flowers, but she's releasing all of this burden that to her doesn't look or feel like a burden. And that's kind of, it's a trick, isn't it? To let go and trust that everything's going to be okay. And we have the Page of Wands. Look at I love the pages. I'm learning more about them. I put in my mind that I wanted to understand the energy of pages a little bit more. And they've helped me because really, when you have the Ten of Wands where you release that burden, what comes next? Learning, digging in, investigating. The wands are the suit of fire and passion. So all of the pages are like pulling back into your being, pulling back into your inner child, into the things that you loved to do when you were little. Because that there may be, if you're struggling to understand your life, it may very well be because you're unplugged from something you really loved to do when you were a kid. Okay, and then we have the, now, Anita, I know that you're watching this because you love this deck as much as I do. This was a real important card for me. She drew it for me in a reading, and this is pretty much why I wanted to have this deck, because I love how she's leaping through this ring of fire. And as I step out, like I don't feel as secure with YouTube as a lot of other readers, but yet I feel drawn. And so I'm leaping through this ring of fire and needing to be ready for what is coming toward me, because reading the cards is something that's deeply, deeply fun for me. And I know I'm supposed to be reading these cards. And so my challenge through the reading I received was live fearlessly, leap through the ring of fire. What is it that I'm being called to do next? What is it that you're being called to do next? The Knight of Wands can empower us to walk forward. And then we have the Queen of Wands. Just hide the previews. It's my first time looking at some of these too. King of Wands. I love this card. It kind of strikes me that his instrument is the drum. And as he uses the instrument, the fire goes, it's going internal. It's not blasting outward, right? Because when by time you reach the end of this suit, there's a degree of confidence in your own passion, and maybe not so much desire to get out there as it is to absorb and radiate the true passionate energy that's yours. We're going to our next suit here, which is, wait a second. We have a second King of Wands. Oh, you guys, look at this. How fun is this deck? Okay, so this is what the author was meaning with being able to use this deck for the Divine Feminine, if you wish, because look at our King of Wands. We have two versions. Isn't that interesting? And also, when you look at the feminine version of this, there's a little bit more energy going out. So this is very interesting because there are two ways of manifesting: from the inside out and as a radiant energy that is floating from us, right? Look how floaty that is and how peaceful. And look at this flame. And my feeling is about manifesting and the law of attraction is that we need both. We need to have an inner connection to the reality of passion and our own giftedness. And we have to have the courage to step out and let it start to drift out into the universe. I believe everybody has something that they're good at doing. Sometimes you can earn money doing it. It's your career. And if you're in a career that you love, how blessed are you? But a lot of times, real passion will come from a hobby. So your job may be just a job, but you have something that you pour your energy in that feeds you at the soul level. But very cool with two King of Wands, right? And again, those of you who are just joining me, we're doing the Tarot of Mystical Moments. It was gifted to me, and that's why I'm going through card by card. Okay, Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups, because I do so many love and romance readings, the Ace of Cups is always exciting when you see it pop up because it is the start of something new in the emotional level. And as I was saying earlier too, this artist, it really does draw you in, excuse me, it really does draw you in the more you enter into this picture. And a lot of times people will use their cards for meditation. You don't have to close your eyes and sing syllables. Sometimes you can just relax and enjoy a, um, a beautiful card like this and see what details you notice. Two of Cups. Such a gentle portrayal, right? But many partnerships have a bit of an edge. Can you see where there would be a bit of an edge here in all this beauty? Three of Cups. Just this partnership, the allegiance, the comfort and the power that comes from enjoying your connections with sisters and brothers who believe like you do. Many times the people that come into my work are unusual. Neurodiverse is a term you may have heard, but there's people who experience life on earth in a completely different way than what they call neurotypical. And so finding sisters, finding people who resonate the same as you can be so, so empowering, right? And then our Four of Cups. Wow. It's true that many times I just, a little bit of pressure in my upper chest and throat. So somebody who's listening may have, a little bit of emotional energy going on in your lower throat and like up at the top of your chest. So if that's you, you may be feeling just like this woman on the card. Just put your hand on wherever you're feeling that heat or pressure and take a couple of breaths. Because many times the assistance that you're looking for is right behind you. You just don't see it, right? Great card. Five of Cups. Five of Cups is the card that I call Don't Cry Over Spilled Milk, because a lot of times with the emotional area, you can be immersed in drama around your life and not even see what you already have, not even see that what you're giving up in the past is totally worth giving up because what you're going toward is so much better. So she's like thigh deep in emotions. The water suggests the emotions, and she's moving forward. And I love that the message of this card is to just let go of the past. It's worth it. There's so much more coming to you. Six of Cups. This is the card that a lot of times readers will say that there's somebody coming back from your past if it comes into the reading. Also, it's just what do you call, like a remembrance card for times in your past. And earlier I was saying, as far as with the wand suit, like what's your core passion? What is it that you wish you were doing? There's something inside of you that's longing to be connected to something more meaningful. A lot of times when you go back to your past and you take a look at what you love to do around the age of 10, 11, 12, 13, things that you did at that point, if you can just reopen them. Perhaps you played an instrument. Perhaps you took dance lessons. Perhaps you loved to read. But whatever you were doing to find peace of mind in that time when you just turned into a double digit, a lot of times that'll give you a clue about what's missing right now. Seven of Cups. This is the card of multitudes of choices. And but also a card to watch out for illusion, right? So you have choices, but you want to make sure that you're being honest with yourself and seeing things clearly, because wishing upon a star is okay to a point until it's not, because sometimes you have to make a concrete choice when it comes to your emotions. And the Eight of Cups, something needs to be left behind. Making choices to walk forward. What I like about this cup is all the pairs. Look at a pair of dragonflies, a pair of swans, and a pair of birds. And even that she's got a ladybug outfit. That just intrigues me, and I love animals so much. This makes me wonder. And so if I pick this card for like my daily card, and my friend Anita, who gave me this deck, she often will take a single card and allow it to kind of teach her for a whole week or even more, putting it up into some sort of a frame or putting it in a place where she sees it all the time, and just let the card speak to her over time. So this card with the Eight of Cups, what is it saying? What is she walking away from? And maybe part of it is that feeling that you need a partner or a soulmate to be complete. Maybe that's what she's kind of walking away from, because honestly, you are your own best bet for a soulmate, and being able to align deeply with yourself makes you pretty irresistible. So interesting. Okay, let's go on. Thank you for being here with me on this live. I kind of knew it, all of this, but I love the spontaneity of it, and I love the ideas that just pop out. And this is my first time through this deck, so thanks for sharing with me. Be sure to hit the thumbs up if you're here whenever you see this, so that I know you're liking the deck as much as I do, and hit that subscribe button. If you guys love this deck, I'll start using it in my videos more often. That's how you communicate with me. Okay, Nine of Cups. So this woman is, if you'll excuse my expression, she's just got her shit together, right? I mean, look at her. She's very, very strong, right? She's got this, like, it looks to me, it's like the fan. It's like a fan shape with these cups, and very opulent, elegant, and secure. Take a breath. Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if this was you emotionally? You know, when this card is falling right in the middle of the holiday season, Thanksgiving was a couple of days ago, Christmas is coming, you know, to be able to be this confident with your emotions going through the holidays, I'm shaking my head. I would love that. But remember, we're coming from that place of being centered in our own being, where Source, this, I believe this, that Source and Catherine have a meeting place deep inside of my being, and that when those two parts of me are connected and vibing together, that's when I have my best days. So this is a good card. This is a good promise card for me going into the holidays, that it is possible to be relaxed and confident emotionally. And our Ten of Cups. Very interesting. Look at this. You know, when you look at that water, and again, water is, in ancient traditions, water can be a sign of the Holy Spirit. And in energy work, water is a sign of emotions. But when you're looking at what's going on underneath the surface, right? Everything that's important is happening underneath the surface. This is such a good message for me personally today, so just indulge me while I speak this out. Because when I get discouraged or demoralized when I'm waiting, you know, we're always waiting for something, right? It just is what it is. And whenever I get personally demoralized, I forget this. I forget that most of what is happening is behind the scenes. I forget that there are spiritual realities, there's angels, there's the divine, there is a divine plan for my life. And just because I can't see something happening doesn't mean that it's not happening. And this card shows this exactly for me, because look at the roots that are growing under the water. Look at all the little fish, which to me are like all the ideas, all the things I'm waiting to manifest. They're all in that form. They're rooting themselves in me, and they will be bearing fruit at the right time. You cannot hurry nature. And this is a great card. Thank you, Anita, for this deck. I'm just loving it. Okay, Page of Cups. Okay, the Page of Cups. Let me take it. Aw, I do love this card. I always think that there's again, this card really appeals to the imagination, and that's important to me. Some of you know that I follow a couple philosophers. One is Neville, and the other is Alan Watts, and then Wayne Dyer. All three of them are very meaningful to me right now because they all talk about the power of the imagination and that we have to contemplate ourselves as possessing the thing that we're trying to manifest. So you act as if it's already here. Now, this person is looking at this fish in the cup. And so it's as if they're having an imaginary conversation. And it reminds me of the cat in the hat. So some of you, if you're a mom and you have the book, The Cat in the Hat around, you might want to pick it up. Like whenever I feel like a certain resource pops into my mind, like The Cat in the Hat, and there's a talking fish in that book, and it may be a good idea for you to just pick that up and take a peek at it. But I think what it shows me today is that there's sources of wisdom that we don't know we have. You have a deep source of wisdom within you. It is your imagination. The Page of Cups is a call to action for that. Next, we have the Knight of Cups. And the Knight of Cups, of course, is about an offer coming. You know, the maturity is there to experience love. But take a look at that heart. Have you ever seen this before in any other card? What does it mean to you to see the actual human heart in this picture? Can you be that vulnerable? Can you let someone get to know you from the core of your being outward? Are you ready for that kind of commitment? Queen of Cups. She's submerged. She's actually under the water. Can you see how her hair is floating? She's sitting on that shell. What a beautiful, beautiful call for us to be sincerely connected to our deepest emotional self so that we're not compromising when it comes to love. We're able to hold on to our identity. King of Cups. The King of Cups is aware that there's danger, sharks in the water, aware of I would say, like how fragile it is to make a love journey. Look how carefully he's holding this beautiful ship, but the ship could carry generations. So I feel like this King of Cups in our emotions is the promise that we can tap into the best of our past, the best of our family lines to carry through strength, guidance, and wisdom from our own ancestors into this lifetime. And we have a second King of Cups. Don't you love it? Please hit thumbs up if you're enjoying the fact that we have choices. Again, looking at how each of these characters, the Kings of Cups, are dealing with the reality of guiding yourself and maybe even others emotionally through a certain chapter of life, whereas the masculine energy is tending to hold it inside and to be quietly in control. This is a relaxed hand position here, so it just shows that this is the energy to process, control, and be quietly effective. And then you look at the feminine, and what we're seeing here is there's a way through, okay? And she's also carrying the same ship that this character is carrying, but it's so much smaller in as a reference. And you've got two of them, and how she's carrying one with a nurturing kind of energy, but she's also opening to allow a ship to go through. So fantastic. Sorry, I kind of got lost in the King of Clubs there. Okay, moving on. And we have the Ace of Swords. All righty. We're getting there. Thank you for being with me. This time is going by. Again, I am talking today for any newcomers. We have the Tarot of Mystical Moments that we were reviewing. And it's a thank you video to Anita for gifting me with this deck. And so I'm asking if you're enjoying this deck, please put a thumbs up because I will start using it in the readings if y'all like it as much as I do. Okay, Ace of Swords, the key to your future. She is so symbolic of clear cut wisdom, knowing what you want, no bullshit, right? I mean, this, and just this wide eyed um, peace, ready, peace and readiness to launch forward. We have the Two of Swords, decisions to be made. I almost think she should be drumming her, you know, how you drum your fingers to make a decision. But I imagine, like, if you had two birds twittering on your head all day long, it would drive you crazy, right? It would be too much noise. And so this to me is just shows clearly this is a person who really has a lot of regard for nature and truly loves it. But even though that love is there, if the mind is too busy, it steals your peace of mind. So usually it's about a decision that needs to be made. In this card, it could be which of these birds going to go in the birdhouse first. but but I love this, and we are in control. She could reach up and take that hat off if she wanted to. Three of Swords, our heartbreak card. This card to me can make people afraid. They're like, oh, when the Three of Swords comes up in a reading. And I love that it's a flower. I love that this artist is bringing beauty even to this card, because honestly, there is a gift in the Three of Swords, everyone. This is the suit, the swords, it's the suits of our thoughts, and it's the suit of how we process things intellectually. And many, many times people have been burnt by love. Sometimes it's like, sometimes it's between the age of like 13 and 23. Many people who come to me have some sort of real heartbreak in one of the first loving encounters they have. And what that does is it sets them on a path of carefulness and defensiveness. Remember our Seven of Wands and how that card is like a self-sabotage card where we're too guarded, we're too defensive. The root to that is often in our Three of Swords. So if the Three of Swords shows up in a reading, I don't cringe and and I'm not afraid of it, because I want to know what's holding me back. If I'm waiting for a development with my career, with my relationships, I need to understand what's supposed to be happening while I'm waiting. And a lot of times it's just to allow the divine to come in, do a little pruning, a little gardening in my heart and getting me ready for love. So beautiful depiction for the Three of Swords. Four of Swords, beautiful. It's a great card to come after this Three of Swords. And, you know, if you tell the story to yourself so that you are making a choice to recover from the heartbreak, and then it's a resting period. A lot of people will come to work with me and we'll do like a series of readings, weekly readings, and do some energy tapping so that they can really rid themselves of an ex or a breakup, something like that. And I will tell them during this next month when we're working together, no dating. And they don't like that. It makes them cringe because they're in such a hurry to find a partner. The reality is they're only going to attract another heartbreak. It's like you're on the people mover at the airport. You just keep attracting, you're riding along, attracting one ill-matched person after another. So what I will recommend is just stop. Give yourself a chance to recover. Give yourself a chance to stop attracting a single life. So the Four of Swords is a wonderful card of rest and recovery. And then we have Five of Swords. Sometimes there's a shadowy figure, right? But often what we need to remember is that the shadows are all inside. There's a reading that I do about getting love attraction strength from your shadow side. If this is interesting to you, be sure to hit that thumbs up, because sometimes doing readings about the shadow side is not popular. People don't want to hear about their shadow. But the thing is, though, that there's nothing to be afraid of. You are a wonderful person. And if you haven't found the right position or the right partner, it's probably because there are some shadows that are convincing you that love is dangerous or not. good for you. And we have our Six of Swords here. This card, Six of Swords, like when we're looking at this card in the Rider Waite, and it's the card, if you recall, it's showing the little boat going across the water, and on one side of the boat, the sea is rough, the other side it's smooth, so it's giving you a sense of clear sailing ahead. You know, you've done good so far, so it's going to be fine. And in this one, though, I kind of love it because this character has been lifted all the way off the water, and the island underneath, there's an anchor dropping down. But what it shows me is that solutions come when you least expect them, and they come from really surprising places. And so you may be in a place where things are calming down a little bit and you wonder what's happening next. In reality, your guides, your angels, the divine plan for your life will guide you to where you put your anchor down next. But this card coming out in a reading means that the worst is behind you. Very cool. And we have the Seven of Swords. Okay, so the Seven of Swords is, let me look, what in the world is going on in this picture? Oh, I wonder if these are, oh, they're either eggs or mushrooms. What do you think they are? Write down a comment, let me know. Are those eggs or mushrooms? But it does show me, though, that they're this, like the beginning, right? So I'm just interpreting them as eggs at the moment. So the eggs would symbolize the seeds, right? The seeds of what it is that you have been planting in your mind, in your intellect about how to go forward. And the growth coming from those seeds is just beautiful, right? Beautiful and complicated. And you know, like flowers don't bloom the minute you plant the seed, it doesn't grow. If you have an egg, it doesn't birth anything the next day. I mean, some eggs have to gestate a very, very long time. I think the hummingbird's eggs only gestate a few days, whereas like an elephant, baby elephant gestates, you know, almost a year. Could it be almost a year? I'm not sure. But in this case, though, let me draw your attention to this. She's carrying an egg. And I love that because, you know, as she's going forward from the previous experiences that have all caused her growth towards positive, now she carries a new egg toward her future. And look how big it is. Very positive card. And then we have the Eight of Swords. Now, the Eight of Swords is a card that, again, sometimes when people pull the Eight of Swords in a reading, they get nervous or it makes them cringe because it's one of the, what they call like a negative card. But again, I don't look at it that way. In the 83 cards that are in this deck, yes, I said 83, that's because the artist put in a few extras. Each of the cards represents an energy that can be turned off or turned on. And that we have the switch. Our hand is on the switch. And you may feel like, no, it's not. You don't know my life, Catherine. You don't know what I deal with. I have a lot of conflicting things going on that are really impacting my life. I can't change them. And I'm not going to argue with you there because I hear you. But what Neville and Louise Hay and Wayne Dyer, all of my mentors who are now not even alive, they're watching them on YouTube. But what they say is that it's not the problem that's bothering you, it's your thoughts about the problem. It's not the fact that that person hurt you. It's the fact that your thoughts keep repeating the trauma over and over. So the Eight of Swords in this particular deck I love because look, first of all, the cage is open. The wings are already free and the cage is opening at the level of the head. So this card shows us that yes, you may be having a lot of self-defeating thoughts right now and you may feel like you're not getting anywhere, but you're a lot closer than you think. Stand up, open the gate and walk out. This is a strong card, Eight of Swords. It's like kind of poop or get off the pot, excuse me, but that's what I see it as because she can stand up and walk free. Nine of Swords, this one really got to me the other day because I call this my drama queen card in my own, and just how I look at the cards, because what's keeping you up at night? What is terrifying you in your own thinking? We all have an inner drama queen. We have a part of us that wants to blame someone else. The problem is that the more involved you are with blaming other people, the more vulnerable you feel. And looking at these eyes is like the fear of being exposed. All of us have too much blaming going on. I mean, our whole culture, I'm living in the States, and the culture here is let's find someone to blame because it makes me feel easier and better. But it really doesn't, because then you have to live a careful life. You don't want to be the pot calling the kettle black, right? So the more you try to be a perfect person, the more you feel fearful of exposure. So Nine of Swords, I always want people to ask themselves, where am I being a drama queen in my own life? Ten of Swords. Working our way through. You guys are doing great with me. Thank you for hanging in there. Um, Ten of Swords, again, remember the swords are all about your mind, all about what you're thinking about. And to me, it's how much are you letting other people and your fear of what other people think impact you. Look at all those hands. Look at all those hands with all those pointy ideas coming in. But the figure has her eyes closed. I want you to realize that on your most troubled days, when your mind is really just racking you with worry, the very best thing you can do is let it go, of course, right? Everybody says that, but easier said than done. Your best step at handling a mentally exhausting day is to do something physical. Take a walk, do a plank, that can help if it's too cold to walk. But physical exercise will always help you detach from this kind of energy. And remember, if this energy is turned on, it's normal. There are times all of us feel mentally overwhelmed. The good news is that the Page of Swords is here to the rescue. Now remember, our page is the graduate, right? Ten of Swords has happened. That energy is passing through. So if the Page of Swords shows up, it's that readiness for adventure, readiness for something new. Look at his hat. He's a graduate. So he's graduated through all of the dilemmas around the mind. He understands the pain of being burdened, and now he needs to walk forward. Now we're going all the way through Page, Knight, Queen, and King. So he's not reached the end of his journey in terms of what he needs to learn about managing his thoughts, but he's definitely come a long way. And what do you think about this dandelion? What do you think about that? What do you think about all these little seeds that are releasing? Add a comment. What would that mean to you? Knight of Swords, da 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 da, charge. So this figure riding on a feather, this is a very fast moving energy. I imagine that the bird that was flying and shed this feather from a high height, right? And the Knight of Swords has taken advantage of that and landed on it, and carrying right is worth the cost. Her gown says something. So right away, I can see where this particular card demands my inspection. So I'll be looking at it carefully. Look at how the wand is splitting this cloud. Isn't that interesting? Lots of cool symbols on this one. They say that the knights are mean that there's a message coming fast. And with the Knight of Swords also, it can be a little bit of a warning to slow down, that you're yourself moving too fast. And the Queen of Swords, very sure, very confident. And the King of Swords. One of the things to remember with our King of Swords is that the strength that's there in terms of intellect and decision making and clarity can sometimes leave the heart closed. So it's important to realize, and I kind of like this because it's such a soft card, and it's just gentle, and that's kind of opposite of what you would pick up sometimes with the King of Swords. So I love the reminder to stay soft. And here's our double, the King of Swords in the feminine. What a beautiful pair. I mean, here we have the softness, the femininity, and then she's holding this needle, that's her. Oh, I love that. Oh, thank you, Anita. I love that she's holding a needle and the thread has all of this light on it. So she's got the soft side and she needs to be free to scatter her light and not be afraid of being sharp. And then this king is showing the control and the carefulness and needs to remember to be soft. Okay, our last suit, thank you. We'll dash through here. Those of you guys who've been with me, bless your hearts. Thank you for enjoying my tour with me. So here we have the Ace of Pentacles. Now, the Ace of Pentacles, now we're getting to the money issue, right? So what is it around your money, your possessions, and the concrete parts of life on this planet? That's what our Pentacles suit is about. So the Pentacles, we have the Ace, and she is, something is planted and it's just starting to blossom. We're not sure what's growing here. The Two of Pentacles, balance is so important. And I love that she's so large that she's balancing on skyscrapers. And again, the promise of what's available to you once you take control of what it is that you can do here. Once you realize that once you knit together with your inner being and you find that place of alignment deep inside, that you have more potential than you can even imagine. Our Three of Pentacles is the teamwork card. Teamwork makes the dream work, right? And here, because we have another species that's helping, it just makes me, it reminds me personally that help comes from the most surprising places. And when you're needing help, don't be afraid to tell the universe, hey, send my helpers, I need a hand. Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles is kind of a split energy. On the first hand, it shows that the person has been careful with their finances and that they've put boundaries around how the finances come and go. But the card also has a little bit of warning that you can be so tightly controlled over how you've been doing money that there's not a flow. And so one of the first things that's good to do if you feel kind of stuck with money is give some away. I mean, take a handful of dollar bills, maybe $5 bills. And I got this from Pam Grout in her book, Think and Grow Rich, fantastic book. And she says, give money away. Take your $5 bills, go out and just give $1 to 5 people. Pray about it. Ask, who should I give this dollar to? And just give it to them and say, hey, be blessed. Somebody loves you, and watch their faces. It's very fun. If you want to, you can take one $5 bill and give it to someone. But if you're feeling tight and stuck around your money, it's a great experiment to do. And we have our Five of Pentacles. In the Five of Pentacles, there's some hardship going on, okay? And so when this card comes up in a reading, it can mean that you are focusing so much on the painful situation that you're in right now that you don't see the help that's behind you, okay? This is a card that, in a way, you look at her whole garment, it's like a jail cell, and it's like holding in a treasure. But it's just this vulnerable, unprotected, I feel like everybody else has what I don't have. So if this card comes up, it can be a little bit of a warning about victim energy. Now remember, the card energy can be turned off or on, and every single one of us has had moments when a victim energy is holding us back. So here, if you've just popped into this reading all of a sudden and this is the message you're hearing, please don't be worried about it. The best thing to do if you're feeling this kind of energy is to go outside. Really, go outside, take a walk, brisk, get your heart beating and breathe, because nature is such a healer and it can heal you so quickly. Okay, Six of Pentacles. So here we're celebrating. Yay! It's showing progress, and we need that. With the Six of Pentacles is when the people in your community or your family are noticing that you are becoming successful. So this is a card that shows if you haven't started to have people around you noticing and saying, "Wow, you're looking good. Did you lose some weight? What's happening with you? You're just seeming better than you were a few months ago." If you're not hearing that from people, the angels are bringing you this card to show that they notice. You're absolutely making progress here, so hang in there. Seven of Pentacles. I love the Seven of Pentacles. What it is it's a harvest of sorts. It's like you've been working very hard at something and the growth is there. So do you pick it or do you leave it? Is it ripe enough to be sweet, or do you want to leave it on the tree? So this is a card of discernment as you look at what you're producing in your career or in your relationships. You're looking at it, you're thinking, wow, we've come a long way. This is great, but it's not time to cut down the tree. There's stuff that's still developing. And so this is a wonderful card. Again, it's progress. You're getting there. You may sense that there's something missing, but that's okay. It's only the seven. And remember, the suit goes all the way up to the king. So here we have our Eight of Pentacles, and the Eight of Pentacles is showing wonderful craftsmanship. There is something, if you draw this card, it enables you to see and feel your progress. Definitely internally first. I always like to remind people that when you're manifesting, it's always ideas that manifest first. Okay, so as you craft your own offering for this next, even looking out at the next year, as you work on one of your skills, two of your skills that will bring confidence out for you and your earning potential, just trust that practice makes perfect for sure. There's a man named Max Gladwell, his name. I think that's what his name, Maxwell Gladwell. Gladwell, I know is the last name, but he talks about 10,000 hours, that anybody can learn anything once they put the work in. But this card is showing, though, especially with the details, look at the love and the intimacy, how this butterfly is allowing her to touch its wing. I don't know if you've seen a butterfly lately, but generally they fly away as quick as can be. So the very fact that there's this trust, this internal trust, and working on your skills is a beautiful, beautiful energy. Okay, and then we have, Nine of Pentacles. And the Nine of Pentacles, some people call this the baby empress card because it's showing a manifester. So after all of this preparation and this growth and planting the seeds, the Nine of Pentacles is enjoying the fruits of her labor. She's got a beautiful piece of fruit in her hand that's ripe enough and sweet enough. The nine, so when it comes time to pick the crops and enjoy the bounty, the Nine of Pentacles shows the progress. This is a woman who is very content. I think that contentment is mesmerizing. If you're looking for a partner, you will find that the more contentedness you can vibrate, or if you have a vibe of being content, people find that irresistible. Ten of Pentacles. So in this Ten of Pentacles, we have the promise of the happily ever after here, that the happy family, we have the dog and what have you. Of course, the cups are the suit of emotion, but pentacles are the suit of the walking out of the relationship, the nuts and bolts of it. And so when you're looking at the Ten of Pentacles and you look at the age of this person, what we're seeing is that by becoming mature in yourself, you are going to be more and more able to attract the core desire of that family feeling of being connected. This reminds me of a tree that got chopped down, and you count the rings to see how old the tree is. And I look at this home in the background here, and it's a castle, but there has to be something given up to move into the castle. For example, they may need to move out of a different home in order to go forward. And the Ten of Pentacles is showing it's time, and the manifestation is here. Page of Pentacles. So now that we've gotten to the place where we know we have the power and the strength to get what it is that we're wanting, the Page of Pentacles is the card of new learning. Remember, it's the card of imagination. It's the card of allowing your childlike joy to be reestablished. It's true of every suit. So in this Page of Pentacles energy, it's inviting you to look back and find the enthusiasm, find what it was that you were doing 13, 14, 15 years old, maybe a little bit younger. Is there a skill back there that can be reconstituted? You know, it's like dehydrated, and you add the water of spirit and energy to it and bring it back to life, because the pages do love to learn. So if this energy would come up in a reading, it would be exactly that. What can you study to make yourself more valuable to yourself and to the planet? The Knight of Pentacles. Wow, look at this card. Cool. The leaves. So to have the horse formed out of the leaves, I'm not quite sure what I think about this, except there's a lot of air there. There's a lot of space in between. But you know what? It makes me curious about the relationship between flowers and leaves. And I think I know enough about 8th grade science to remember back that the leaves provide the chlorophyll and the nutrition from light and from rain, and that they support the growth of the flower. But it also takes a lot of time from the minute that the first leaf bud appears on the tree in the spring to when blossoms appear is a long time, a matter of weeks probably. But if you just look at it that way, that the blossoms have to wait till the leaves mature. Very interesting card. I want to meditate on that one. Okay, and then we have Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles, we're almost done, everyone. Thank you for being here with me. Queen of Pentacles, the queen. I'm the queen. We're all queens. We all have queen energy. So be sure to hit the subscribe button so you can follow me. Hit the thumbs up if you're enjoying this, because I love hearing from you guys. When you let me know by your thumbs up that you either don't like or like a reading, it really helps me process what I need to put out there next. Anyway, Queen of Pentacles. So this is a very confident energy. This is someone who is look at the size of these flowers. So this is fully mature, right? She's very earthy, she's secure, the animals adore her, and she loves the animals. So this is, again, it's a real call to nature. You know, if you want to be manifesting more, spend more time outside. I just don't know how many times I can say it. And then last but not least, through my deck, and again, if you're just joining me now, we are taking a peek at this, the Tarot of Mystical Moments deck today. We have 2 cards left. And the King of Pentacles, look at how this character is riding on top of this deer. It makes me want to Google the meaning of deer energy, and just to see what it is, the symbol of the deer, and what it can bring to me. I love when that, anytime you get an idea, gee, I wonder what that means. Google's great for that. But I love how the fruit, the pentacles that are coming from this life of learning to understand how the cycles and patterns work, so that you can find a career or allow finances to come through as you're doing what you're born to be doing. It's balance. He's balanced up there, hands in his pocket, he's completely secure. Unusual depiction of the King of Pentacles as someone who's being in charge. But maybe what it's showing is the only reason he's in charge is because he's completely dependent on his inner being, on the natural cycles. He's not fighting the natural cycles anymore. Very cool. And as you know now, in this deck, there are 83 cards, meaning that there are 4 extra kings. So that if you want to spin this towards feminine energy, you can. And so look at our King of Pentacles in the feminine. Interesting. First thing I noticed, look how huge she is, right? Compared. Peaceful. Secure. Again, contented, right? It's that sexiness of contentedness. The yellow sticks out at me because yellow is the color of the what is it? Which chakra is the self-identity? That's excuse me. I'm thinking of the sacral chakra. This, what keeps coming to me is the sacral chakra, and that's not the one that I'm meaning. So if you know which one is the navel chakra, put that in the comments because it just slipped my mind at the moment. Solar plexus, thank you, the sun. But this is like, this suggests to me, funny that I couldn't think of it. Funny. But solar plexus energy, that security of who you are, being so sure of who you are. Nobody's going to knock you off your horse. But then I'm looking, and in her mind, see that? There's a village there. Wow. So what that shows me is that the Knight of Pentacles has achieved, or the King of Pentacles has achieved that sense of, yes, I know who I am and I know what I'm worth. But with the feminine energy, there's something else coming, right? And there's always something else coming. I watch and listen to Abraham Hicks a lot, and I want to close this with what Abraham says, because somebody asked them, um, this whole idea of letting go of the result and living as if we have it. Abraham, don't we ever just get to be happy? I mean, don't we get to celebrate? We finally got the thing. Why are we always waiting? And Abraham said back, oh, yes, of course. Of course, you'll be celebrating for a minute, and then you're off to manifest something else. And it's so true. It's like the whole cycle starts all over again. Once you've achieved what it is that you're wanting, it all goes back to the beginning. And then let me just peek and find the Fool. Where is she? The first card. Because it all starts over again. And the part about being in a cycle where once you meet your husband or your wife, or once you find the position that you love, or once you move to your new house, or whatever it is that you've been waiting for, there's another adventure starting. So thank you, thank you, thank you for watching this deck reveal. I'm going to put timestamps in it for the suits and the major arcana so that people can review if they want. It means so much to me that you're part of what I'm doing here on YouTube. I'm itty bitty, presence compared to so many. And when you look up tarot on Google, I know you have a gazillion choices. So the fact that you chose to spend some time with me means the world to me. If you love this deck, hit the thumbs up so I know. If you don't like it so much, hit the thumbs down. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you think and what you'd like to see when it comes to future readings. Have an absolutely beautiful Thanksgiving weekend, and I look forward to doing another deck reveal in the future. Meanwhile, I'm getting ready to do the December love readings. You can watch for those to be coming out soon. And go forth and prosper, be blessed, and know that I really love you. I mean, I think about you guys. I love when you comment so that I can get to know you a little bit better and to help you with what it is that you're wanting to manifest. So be well. Thank you again, Anita, for this fabulous gift, and I look forward to seeing you in a future reading.